Turn up.
Nothing makes it got another hit.
Bitch can't whip like me. Can't Millie rock like me. Can't sexy walk like me. Can't hit the corn like me. Hey, bitch can't drop like me. Can't hit the folks like me. Can't nay like me. Can't Dito shuffle like me. Like, no, bitch can't do it like me. Bitch can't do it like me. No, bitch can't do it like me.
Bitch can't do it like Trevor. Bitch can't do it like me.
That's right. That's what the Cardinals are going to be singing in the end zone of the Super Bowl with confetti flying down.
Bet you can't do it like Erica and Trevor. Periscopers, we have to hang up with you. UBNradio.com, channel 2. Hello, party people out there. You're watching The Morning Score with Erica and Trevor. Can we get a round of applause for The Morning Score with Erica and Trevor? Morning Score is your top-of-day fix for professional and college sports and for gaming. Now, as you see, we are in a new time. Same day.
Same day.
Wednesday.
Hump day.
Hump day, people.
Mike.
Hump day. I like the hump day sound effects. Hump day, Wednesday mornings, 11 o'clock. So that's a new time. Same day, different studio.
I like it though. Look at our view.
Yeah, this is what we look at when we look out our window.
DTLA.
and we're down one host, Steph Z. Pour one out for Steph Z, Trevor.
Let's do it.
Okay, pour one out for Steph Z. But, our fabulous engineer, Jarvis, is still in the house. He never puts the camera on himself. I don't know why, but he should, and we're going to force him to this season. We're going to do it. But before we get into the show, make sure you guys follow The Morning Score on Twitter at The Morning Score, and also follow us on Instagram at The Morning Score Show. I'm Erica Renee Davis. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and Snapchat at Erica Renee D.
And I am Trevor Anthony, and you can follow me on the Twitter at Trevor Anthony. And actually follow my little short film. Can I plug that?
Oh, please do,
At
yes.
A Father's Love. So follow that as well.
It's very dark and morbid and sad.
It is. It's not the Trevor that you see here.
It was really scary, actually, Trevor, to watch it. I feel violated. Once you see it, you're going to feel very violated.
Did I tell you this? There is a scene in the movie where I have to beat up my wife, and my fiance came to the set at that particular time with brownies.
It's
like the perfect timing.
Perfect timing, but perfect movie. Really, definitely check it out.
Thank you.
Now, before we get into the sizzle, we want to say, started from the bottom. Now we are here. Jarvis, will you pull the picture of our very first The Morning Score show episode from January 7th, 2005? I'm not sure. You got the picture up? Yep. Got it up. You have Megan, the blonde girl, on your far left.
Oh,
and then you have Steph in her Jets shirt. Then you have me.
Right.
And you got
What was I wearing?
Trevor. I think you were just wearing like a nice gray shirt, short sleeve maybe. Jarvis, is this? Oh, we don't know. Oh, just kidding. Long sleeve button now. See?
A lot of sweat.
Oh my God. So this was when we had the bright idea, and I'm saying we so everyone can look like they were idiots and not just me. It was my idea.
Hey, we're a team.
We're
a team.
Yes. Had the great idea to shoot on top of a rooftop pool in Los Angeles. Super, super hot. The lighting was awful, but here we go. A year later.
But we had fun. And you know what? I love being here. Pour one out for Megan and Steph. Great peeps. I know Megan has gone on to another show, I believe.
I think so, yes.
And then Steph she moved away.
She moved to, I think, the Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Which,
by the way, we were talking about making a murderer. That's the state in which she's moving to.
There you go.
With a very corrupt judicial system.
Maybe we can have Steph interview that murderer. All right.
She'd be down. She'd do
She
it.
definitely would do it. We have so much to talk about. Didn't mean to move the table. Sorry, set decorators, wherever you are, move the table.
That's a very important piece to our production.
It is. National championship predictions. Now, we have had some really interesting predictions. Trevor has failed miserably at his predictions. I have done very well. But let's talk a little bit.
Let's just take a moment before we move on. I'm going to give Erica my own round of applause.
Thank you.
Because she killed it with the bowl picks. I was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
If Alabama does not win on Monday nights, I will be below 500, which is just ridiculous.
Because you love college football.
I love college football.
He's the resident college football expert. He's the resident college football expert, so there's no reason for him to be doing such poor picking when it comes to games.
No.
He sucked.
Big
horrible.
time. Now, one of my games, I never saw Oregon giving up 31
Oh my
points.
God, awful. And then ended up giving up 47 points.
Well,
and
giving up
losing.
47 points.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. I thought they were breezing through that game,
But-
and then all hell broke loose.
Can we talk?
Anyway.
Can we talk a little bit about the upcoming game, national championship game? Bama, who defeated Michigan State 38-0.
Michigan State didn't even show up to their game.
They did, and they were like, you know what? We're just gonna party this New Year's Eve right on out and just say deuces to 2015.
Yeah. We like Texas. They all went out to Billy Bob's and got all boot scooting and drunk and all. They're like, man, yoo-hoo.
I like Boot Scootin' Boogie. You know that song, Boot
Oh,
Scootin'
God.
Boogie?
I'm a cowboy.
Heel
at
toe,
heart.
do-si do. Come on, baby, let's
go,
go boot
boot
scooting. Yes. What is it? Cadillac, blackjack, baby meet something out back. We're gonna boogie. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, we got to get serious.
I'm impressed. I'm
Okay.
impressed.
Who's gonna win this game? I want to hear predictions. I want to hear what you think the outlook of the game will be. Let's hear it. Just go right into it.
All right, well, because my picking's been so spot on, but it's a new year, so maybe my picks will be a little bit better in 2016. Initially, Alabama, I have Alabama winning this game. The more I read, though, I think Clemson is actually going to put up a fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think Watson, a little late to the game here, but he's the real deal. The thing is, everybody's talking about how Alabama has a hard time against mobile quarterbacks, which they do. And they've never actually faced a mobile quarterback who's actually a good quarterback and not just a runner.
Okay.
Like Watson can actually, he's accurate. He's got a hell of an arm. And then they've got like this unsung hero in Gallman, the running back,
Yes.
who's just, Clemson keeps it close in the first half. And then this guy just, they shoot him out of a rocket ship and he's their closer.
He is their closer.
With all that said, though, God, I think Bama's front seven, they're just like man children. And nobody's been able to stop those guys. And I think Bama ends up taking this. I think Bama made a statement. I mean, Michigan State is actually they're a pretty good football
Or so
team.
we thought. We thought they were anyway.
Well, I mean, they're good. They beat a Michigan, on a crazy
On a fluke
play.
play, but yeah.
But still, they were in that game. Then they beat Ohio State. But holy hell, that game, that was... You know what the good thing about that game was? It was on New Year's Eve. It was the last game. So people were able to prepare for their parties by the second half. They're like, oh, okay, well, we don't even need to waste more time on this game.
Okay, so I'm kind of with you in the sense of you better be afraid of Deshaun Watson. He was not the second runner-up or the third place winner to the Heisman for no reason. Dual threat. He can beat you with his arm. He has very good vision down the field. He can obviously beat you with his legs. Clemson's defense showed up against Oklahoma. And
yes,
and I think we have considered Clemson to be such an offensive team and not really have looked at them as a defensive power. And I hesitate to call them a defensive power, but they did really well against Oklahoma. So they're a lot more. They're not as one-dimensional as we may have thought earlier in the season, and that's what makes them a little bit scary. But for Bama, I said it in our last episode. Coker, the quarterback, all of a sudden showed up in the SEC championship against Florida. And we tend to look at Alabama as a running back school, as a defensive school. You never really give a second thought or a thought period to their quarterbacks. But when Coker started showing that he also had vision down the field and he could pick apart a defense a little bit in the SEC championship, it really gave us pause. And then he did the same thing again against Michigan State.
Yes.
So when you consider those two things, I think Alabama has the edge. And then also you got Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart. That coaching threesome, if you will, has the experience and they have the experience and the confidence that you need on a coaching staff to get the job done in this kind of a big game. So I'm going Bama.
Yeah, and I agree. I think you make a great point with Coker. I mean, this guy, and once again, hey, it's one more game. Let's see what he does. But he is the key because everybody's going to be keen on Henry and the running game.
Yep.
That play action could be wide open, and it's just hitting those receivers when it is.
Yeah. So I'm saying Bama 28, Clemson 20. What's your prediction, Trevor?
Well, you are going against – you picked Clemson at the beginning of the year, and now Did you?
Okay, so
Let's.
Okay, so let's have a moment. Now I gotta pull the tape like they did in the old days. Gotta pull the tape.
Pull the tape.
Pull the tape because in the beginning of the season, Trevor, Steph, and I each selected our top 4 hypothetical college football playoff teams. And my sleeper pick at the beginning of the year was Clemson. And I have been so proud of that. Now that they are in the championship game against Bama, there's no way that I think they're going to beat Bama. So I'm halfway there, but I don't expect them to win. I'm still going to say Bama 28, Clemson 20.
All right, I'm going to go Bama 35, Clemson 23.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to be cheering for Clemson like crazy. And I have no affiliation with Clemson whatsoever. But, God, it would be so good to see somebody else win the national championship. And, you know, the ACC would have 2 out of the last 3, which is kind of crazy because that conference as a whole is pretty awful.
It's pretty.
But they always have one team, Florida State 2 years ago, or I guess 3 years ago, however you look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Who were awesome. And then now this Clemson team.
I think the reason you have, or you, not you, but the ACC ends up having these teams coming out and being top ranked 1, 2, because their schedules throughout the season sometimes are not as difficult as the Big Ten schedule or the Pac-12 or the SEC schedule, which brings me, I want to talk about a little bit about the bowl season that we've had so far.
Yes.
I think Colin Cowherd, I always like to reference Colin Cowherd, my favorite, my bestie. He talked all season long about how this was the Big Ten's year. The Big Ten, they look so good. The SEC's finally, their dominance is finally falling by the wayside. That could have been true for the regular season. Now, postseason, what have we done? SEC 8-2 postseason games. I don't know what the Big Ten's record is.
The Big Ten, see, I had it so everybody knows. I've been under the weather and I left my nasty notes in the printer. But I know the Big Ten was maybe, I think they were 5-5.
Okay.
I think the SEC was they were 8-2.
We're 8-2.
And then the Pac-12, which might surprise some people, they were actually 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
But you have these huge games like Oregon, USC, UCLA, Arizona State. All got spanked in their games.
Trevor has a phone call.
Hello.
Phone call.
So those games are going to be the ones that resonate with people, especially Oregon. I mean, probably the second best team in the Pac-12. I mean, Stanford obviously handled their business, but Oregon got embarrassed, up 31-0 at half. Just to give that up to a TCU team with their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
People are going to remember that. And then obviously USC and UCLA are huge schools, and they just got crushed.
So are you disappointed with bowl season? And I asked this specifically because the ratings were down 13% this year as far as the New Year's Eve bowl games and the New Year's Day bowl games. Are you disappointed with the way that they scheduled the bowl games?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I don't know. I as a football fan, I enjoyed, getting ready for New Year's Eve watching college football. I thought that was pretty cool. But, I'm also I'm a diehard football fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for those people that aren't diehard football fans, they're not going to watch. And they're probably pissed off. They're probably like, well, I'm getting ready for my party or whatever, or I have to work, so I can't watch these games. I think they need to be during the day. I don't know for New Year's Eve anyway. And maybe more games on New Year's Day.
I agree with you, Trevor, because I was in Georgia for the holiday, and I think the Michigan State Bama game was the last game.
And it's late. You're on the East Coast.
I'm on the East Coast. It was like a 10:55, and that game was just going off. I'm like, okay, any plans that I had, I didn't have any plans, but any plans that I hypothetically would have had would have been compromised by trying to watch this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like a lot of people, we're on the West Coast, and I was back in the West Coast. So it wasn't that bad. I think it kicked off at like 5 or 6 or something like that. But still, that's when you're kind of getting ready. And if you're on the East Coast, you're in definitely mode, like you're probably in transpo mode to get to your parties or whatever. And most parties probably aren't going to have college football on. Now, with all that said,
exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to those parties because that's stupid, but
I'm going to stay home and watch football.
But also, these games were terrible. And damn it, once again, I think I remember this. The New Year's Day 6 games that were supposed to be the great games, the powerhouses. I think the differential in points it was 24 points. It was something like that on average that the winning team beat the losing team.
Oh, yeah.
The closest of all those games was Notre Dame, Ohio State. And Ohio State won by
44-28, I think.
Yeah, they won by 16.
Yeah.
So that was and that was actually a pretty decent game. I mean, Notre Dame just whatever, but that was a relatively decent game that actually went into the fourth quarter, where all these other games like that. I talked to some Iowa fans that by the time they even got to their seats at the Rose Bowl, they were already down 14-0.
Yeah, well, Iowa fans, you should have known better. Sorry, we have been trying to tell you guys all season long. You refuse to listen to us. Your fate told itself. Come New Year's, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
That was New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. Happy New Year. Happy 2016. Iowa. Back to reality. Okay.
Pounded.
Follow the conversation on Twitter at #TMS Talk. What do you guys think about the drop in ratings for college football bowl games this season? And what do you guys think? Who's gonna win? Bama, Clemson, Monday night. NFL wildcard weekend.
Oh, I'm so excited.
NFL wildcard weekend. I always get really sad when football season starts coming to a close.
I know it's such a bittersweet thing because you know that football is going to be over in a month, but now is the really exciting time. Now it's playoff time. I've got to say though, these wild card weekend matchups, it's bizarre. It's
bizarre in what way?
Well, they're not that attractive. I think there's two really attractive games. Obviously, the Bengals Steelers.
I think that's it. Oh, looks like we have.
We got a caller.
We have a caller.
Oh,
okay.
what's up?
All right. Welcome to the Morning Score with Erica and Trevor. You are live on air. Who do we have here on the phone?
This is Mark Ginsburg. How are you doing, Erica?
Okay, Mark Ginsburg. For all you guys out there who are watching, you know I like to brag.
This is actually Double H. Double H. This is Double H.
Double H.
Double H. Okay.
What does that stand for?
What does it stand for, Mark? I know, but they don't know.
Holler hose?
It stands for the Hebrew Hammer.
The Hebrew Hammer. Okay, so everyone out there, I like to brag about
Hebrew Hammer.
My football knowledge, and the Hebrew Hammer was who I played in my final matchup for my fantasy football
You got
league.
to the championship?
I got to the championship.
Come on.
Thank you.
That's a big feat.
So Mark.
And did you know something? I went you Old Testament style.
Oh, damn. He's going Old Testament on you.
Mark, so let's hear. Please tell everyone out there listening.
You're talking all that smack, but I went you just like the Old Testament.
Wait a second. Erica was talking smack? That surprises me.
Well,
nice, sweet Erica.
No, I mean, yeah, actually she was. I saw it on her little your show there.
He's right.
And she was talking smack how she was the only woman.
I'm the only girl in my fantasy football.
And you got to the championship.
And he got me. But here's the thing. See, Mark had a lot of luck on his side. A lot of luck on his side because, Mark, tell everyone.
How do you feel about that, Mark?
Mark, how do you feel about me calling you lucky as opposed to being a skilled fantasy football coach?
Yeah, how am I lucky? No, I don't think so. Because I read it, and I studied, and I got. How am I lucky?
You are lucky, Mark, because
how is that?
Our final game, our final matchup, literally watching it by points, guys, and Trevor and everyone out there watching. It came down to the wire. He got lucky. I forgot who his last player was on that Monday night, but whoever it was, he could have easily lost. Like we were tied up until maybe 10 minutes until the end of the game.
So who were your guys' squads? Do you remember lineups?
I'm looking for my
Mark. Who was your quarterback?
My quarterback was Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's dude. That guy has been a fantasy machine down the stretch.
I don't even remember my running backs.
Mine was Matthew Stafford.
Mark's team was so good he doesn't even remember his game-winning, his Super Bowl championship
I know.
squad.
It doesn't matter who I put in. I put them in, and they do the deal.
Well, Double H, I have to concede. I did unfortunately lose my fantasy football
Yes, you
opportunity to win a championship this year. And I have to say on air, congratulations, Mark.
Yeah, congratulations, Mark.
Well, thank you so much.
And it won't happen again.
Thank you very much. And you put up a good fight.
No, thank you, Mark.
You really did.
Thank you for calling in to the Morning Score.
Thanks for calling in,
All
Mark.
right. Thank you very much.
See, those are the worst. Fantasy football is so fun, but those are the worst
Yeah.
games, the ones that come down to the wire, because
Trevor.
you're watching every play,
I was
everything going on.
freaking out, and I lost by I think 8 points. 8 points. Only girl in my league though, and my commissioner of my league told me, he was like, "Oh, that's just beginner's luck." Because last year I was also in the championship game.
What?
Only girl in my league.
Back to back.
And some of these guys played football at Georgia, and I'm doing better than they are in our fantasy football league.
So he's the Hebrew Hammer. What's your team name?
My team is the Los Angeles Darknesses. And I say that because I have a bunch of guy friends, and because obviously I'm dark skinned, they call me Darknesses. So Los Angeles Darknesses.
Darknesses. I like that. Well, hey, if it makes you feel better, in one of those leagues because I'm in a couple leagues and I have to prioritize. So one of my high priority leagues, first round of the playoffs, I have a 25-point lead going into the Monday night game with Miami against the Giants.
Okay.
This dude has Odell. Dolphins had shut him down for the most part all game. I'm still up by 15 points with 7 minutes to go.
Oh, no.
And that's when my beloved Miami Dolphins gave up an 84-yard touchdown pass to Odell Beckham.
Dang it, that hurts.
And I lost.
That hurts.
It hurts not only because I lost fantasy playoffs, but it also hurts because it was my favorite team. And you have one job on defense.
One job, guys.
Shut down Odell Beckham. I don't care if Ruben Randall goes. I don't care. Shut down Odell Beckham. And he was wide open. It's like, what the hell? And that's just.
It is Odell, though.
It is Odell, and it's also the Dolphins.
And
that was just a summation of their entire season. A huge letdown.
We got to talk about that next episode. You guys might have a new coach. You will have a new coach.
Yes.
Let's talk about AFC wildcard weekend. Steelers 10-6 at the Bengals 12-4. AJ McCarron most likely will get the start because Andy Dalton is not going to be 100% healthy with that thumb. AJ McCarron is 2-1 as a starter. He has a 184 yards per game average and 4 touchdowns and 3 starts. Trevor. Now Marvin Lewis, head coach at the Bengals, has not won a playoff game in his entire tenure there, and he's 0-6 since Andy Dalton has been there. So, is this a must-win for Marvin Lewis to not get on the hot seat? And if they don't win, because it's A.J. McCarron starting and not Andy Dalton, does he get a pass, and do the Bengals not completely panic?
I think he gets a pass if they lose because, one, it's not Andy Dalton, and two, he's 0-6, but that means he's played in 6 playoff games. He's gotten his teams to the playoffs 6 times. It's kind of uncanny how you can't win, especially with some of these Bagels teams of the past few years. I mean, they've been good, really good teams. They've had a lot of home games as well. And a couple of years ago, they lost to a not very good, or was it last year? I can't remember. A not very good Chargers team.
Yeah. Oh.
But here's the thing. If you do fire a Marvin Lewis, which I don't think they would, it's like, who are you going to get?
Who are you going to get?
And just remember, going back to the Chargers, they were 14-2. They lost in their playoff game, and then they fired
Turner?
Schottenheimer.
Oh, well.
And then that franchise has just plummeted since then. It's like, dude, you were 14-2. Yes, you lost the game, but you were 14-2. I mean,
yeah.
It's NFL football. Any team can beat another team as we saw the Dolphins just beat the Patriots.
Any given Sunday.
So you don't just get rid of a guy whose team was 14-2 and had a first round bye. Shit happens in the NFL. But Marvin Lewis, he'll stick with the Bengals. I just don't see them winning this game. I think the Steelers.
See, I think the Bengals are going to eke it out. A.J. McCarron needs to depend on A.J. Green all day, and that Bengals defense will have to be the saving graces for Cincinnati. Again, I think that A.J. McCarron has shown that he is more starter ready than a lot of quarterbacks who are actually starters in the league. Like, look at Sam Bradford. He was supposed to be the second coming of Jesus in Chip Kelly's offense, and he always looked shaken up and nervous. A.J. McCarron has come in as Andy Dalton's backup, and has looked completely confident and had complete command of that offense, has only lost one game as a starter. This is going to be a big task for him to undertake. Playoff game, wild card weekend against the Steelers and Big Ben and that offense who've won 2 championships with Big Ben, and Tomlin, who's also an experienced playoff coach. But I'm going to go Bengals.
All right, I'm going Steelers because, well, one, I just like this rivalry. It's a fun one. In the regular season, they both won one.
Okay.
But I just think the big thing is, and I agree with you, I think McCarron has looked pretty good for a backup quarterback, but now it's the playoffs. How does he come into the playoffs? Is he going to be super tight? I mean, it's a playoff game. You're against the Steelers. You do have Big Ben on the other side. The Steelers' defense is prone to giving up huge plays. Like, A.J. Green has just owned this team.
He has.
Especially this season. So if McCarron can get him the ball, but I don't know. I think in the end, I think the Steelers just have too much firepower. I think Big Ben, they outscore him, and that's, I guess, what you have to do. I think the Steelers take this one. I think McCarron gets a little rattled. Okay. A little early.
So Trevor says Steelers. I say Bengals. # TMS Talk on Twitter. Join the conversation. Let us know what you think. The less sexy game.
The very unsexy
game. The unsexy game. Kansas City, 11-5, second in the AF West, at the Texans, who are 9-7, clinch the AFC South. Come through Alex Smith. Will he get it done? Is this going to be easy, cheesy, peasy for him?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm actually picking that. I'm going with the Texans.
What?
I think people are sleeping on Houston. I looked at the sports book yesterday. Houston is plus 3.5. I may put everything I own on that line.
Listen, don't do it. Don't forget, Alex Smith is one of the league's lowest interception quarterbacks, and he has experience. I think he went to a playoff game as a quarterback in San Fran, didn't he, or did he not?
He did. But he's also been there with the Chiefs.
With the Chiefs, yeah, and that experience was bad. That was when the Colts came back, I think, from 30.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. So he has that chip on his shoulder, and he also has a chip on his shoulder after San Fran and that whole debacle and with the 49ers. They let him go. Now look what's going on up there. He has that chip on his shoulder. He has a chip on his shoulder from letting the Colts come back on them from 30-something points down. Whatever it was, I don't remember, but it was ridiculous. Alex Smith, leader. He's the man, and I think the Texans, the fact that they're even in the playoffs, I'm like, are you guys really there with your 4th quarterback? They've had 4 different starting quarterbacks this year. Brian Hoyer, really? Are you really thinking that the Texans are going to go beat at home?
Yeah, I think Brian Hoyer is actually he's a decent quarterback. He's not great by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh boy.
DeAndre Hopkins,
yes.
And that Texans D is legit.
Now, the Texans, I did not give any credence to them. So you're right. I completely have to acknowledge the Texans defense.
So I think I don't know. I think this game is just going to be a slugfest. It's going to be something like 17-14. Bet the under, which, by the way, we said bet the under in that Michigan State-Bama game.
Were we right or wrong?
We were definitely right.
Okay, yeah, because 38-0.
38-0.
Yeah.
I would bet the under in this game. I'm also betting the Texans because even if they do lose, they're not going to lose by more than 3. This is going to be a backyard brawl. And I'm going with the Texans. I think, God, they're a different team these last couple weeks.
I'm going Kansas City definitively, and I'm going to say, so you're saying 17-14 Texans. I'm saying I'm going to say 28-7 Kansas City.
See, that's what is fun about this year's wild card, even though we said it's not the sexiest.
It's not.
It's wide open. Like you and I in 2 games are completely different already.
You're right.
And we got 2 more games to go.
Okay, NFC, # TMS Talk, AFC wild card, your predictions. We want to hear them right now. Seahawks at Vikings.
I think we're going to agree on this one.
Okay. Seahawks, right? We're
I
going
just-
Seahawks.
God, how cool would it be for the Vikings to win this game? But, they go to Green Bay. They beat Green Bay. They're the NFC North champs. And your prize, you get the hottest team in the NFL coming to your house who just whooped your ass a couple weeks ago. It's like, damn.
Now, although we do agree that the Seahawks will win, I do not think it's going to be as easy for the Seahawks as people think. Because you do have Adrian Peterson on the other side of the ball. And Teddy Bridgewater is not the quarterback you want to have as your starter in this kind of situation. But he's not completely underwhelming. I mean, he's average, a little bit better than average sometimes. I mean, he's gotten them this far.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be cold. People are saying this is going to be like the coldest day in hell ever.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be at home, which is nice.
That's nice.
They don't have to go to Seattle. Here's my key to this game. Is Teddy Bridgewater using his legs?
Okay.
Becoming the mobile Teddy Bridgewater that he can be. He's not mobile like a Russell Wilson, but he is mobile. If he can pick up a 5, a 6, a 7-yard run here or there, just to keep the Seahawks defense a little unbalanced.
True.
I think it's key because they're going to key on Adrian Peterson. That's going to be, they're going to put 8, 9 in the box and make Bridgewater beat them. But if somehow he can pick up some first down, ball control is going to be huge for the Vikings. They need to slow this game down.
Yep.
And they need to just grind it out and frustrate the Seahawks. Because the Seahawks D, amazing, but it's all egos. And if you can constantly get those little first downs here and there, that's the most frustrating thing in the world.
You're right. You're right about the Seahawks and their defensive egos. And I like what you said about crowding the box. And Bridgewater, if he can use his legs in that cold weather, I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch. I've heard people say that players who are used to playing in cold weather are not going to be as affected by that. So maybe he will be able to run. Maybe he's not even going to give a second thought to the fact that it's negative 17 degrees. Don't quote me on that. I don't even know what the temperature is going to be. I just threw that out there. But you got to remember when the Vikings got blown out by the Seahawks in Week 13, the Vikings were missing several of their defensive starters too.
Absolutely.
So this Sunday's is it Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday.
This Saturday's game.
This
weekend's game.
Sunday
football. This is going to be a completely different picture than it was in Week 13. So let's both say Seahawks.
All right, we're both going to say, I will say this, and I agree with you that's going to be a little different, is the fact, because of those players, yes. Also, the Vikings are already they already had a playoff game, in a sense, against the Packers. So they're kind of in that,
that's true,
they're in that mode, which
You're right.
Can definitely help. I mean, the Seahawks, they went into Arizona. They blew them out. Arizona didn't care. That game was kind of meaningless to them.
Yeah.
It really didn't mean anything. The Seahawks, I think at the time might have thought, but it really didn't do anything.
Okay.
So the Vikes are there. God, yeah.
Give me a score. Give me a score.
Going Seahawks 35-24.
Okay. I'm going to say Seahawks 21 to 14.
Okay. All right.
So you said what? You said 35 to 20 what?
To 24.
Okay. Hashtag TMS Talk. What are your predictions out there for Seahawks at Vikings? Packers at Redskins. Now, I was telling a friend the other night that NFL needs to revamp the rules. Like, a less than 500 team does not need to be in the playoffs.
Now, I should have told you this off air.
Okay.
The Redskins are not under 500.
Oh, what's their record now? What is their record now?
They're 9-7.
Okay, well, the Redskins are 9-7.
Right.
For some reason, I thought they were like 7-9.
They've won 4 in a row.
Oh, see, that shows you how much I've been watching Redskins football.
I had my notes. I had that circled.
Yes.
To tell you.
Okay, well, thank you, Trevor. The Redskins don't ever need to be in playoffs ever. I don't care if they are 15-0 or 16-0. I don't know. I just think this is just a game that we can just not even watch. I'm not interested in this game.
Really?
I'm not interested in the Redskins. NFC least has been just a shit show this year. Yeah. And I can't with the Redskins. I cannot with that organization. Go ahead. I have nothing to say.
I'm with you. I find this game is just intriguing to me. I'm not a Packers fan at all.
No.
But I'm kind of an Aaron Rodgers fan in a sense. I enjoy watching him play. Like he's fun to watch because he's kind of all over the place. He's like watching a Big Ben. Big Ben is fun to watch when he's not playing against your team because he's so frustrated. Mm-hmm. But he makes these goofy plays, and sometimes they work. And Aaron Rodgers, that crazy Hail Mary, like he just makes stuff come out of his ass. So I'm interested in this game. Plus, I don't think the Packers are that good.
I agree with you.
They have a really good defense, which is funny to think when you talk about the Packers. And I think to myself, God, if they had Jordy Nelson and this offense was clicking like it was last year, this team would be scary.
It would be a completely different team.
Oh.
And maybe because I've been so frustrated with the Redskins and just with the Eagles and the Giants, it's just been maybe that's why I have no interest in this game. And I think I'm giving the Packers more credit than they deserve based on their legacies from years before.
Well, I also think I think you're right. The Redskins aren't that good. I mean, they won the NFC least. They played 3 teams that I believe were above 500, and they lost all those games. So I definitely think they're going to lose this game. I think they might put up a fight. I think they're going to put up a fight because the Packers aren't that good.
Okay.
But I think in the end, the Packers will pull this one out. And what just blows my mind, if the Packers receivers, for once in their life, could have a decent game and not drop balls and get open, which is just crazy. That's how good Jordy Nelson is when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because Randall Cobb went from this stud receiver to kind of pedestrian.
Yeah, very
And you're like,
much
what
so.
the hell happened, bro? Like all right, Jordan Nelson goes out. Well, you got Randall Cobb.
Nope.
And then Randall Cobb should take people away from Devontae Adams.
And he
hasn't.
and he has
then
not at all.
Devontae Adams drops every other pass, which is like, dude.
He's playing hot potato.
Yeah.
Hot potato.
Catch a ball. I think the Packers would have like 2 more wins if he caught important balls. Blah. I can't bet.
It's okay. Blah, 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 blah. Trevor, what is your prediction? What is your score? What do you say?
All right,
what say you?
Packers 24-17.
Okay. I'm going to
kind of low scoring.
I'm going to say Packers 30. I'm going to say Packers 41 to Redskins 10.
Oh.
How about that?
See, I was going to say it wouldn't surprise me if this game kind of had a lot of fireworks. I'm going low, but at the same time, I think this could be – there's always one of those games in the playoffs that we're not expecting, and they just go nuts. Like, watch, Houston, Kansas City, with all of this talk about it's under. It's going to end up being like 42-35.
No way. I will.
I don't think so, but it could happen.
I will throw up
I guess anything could happen.
beets and spinach if that happens.
Beets by Dre? Or
No, like
beets?
beets, like the vegetable. I love beets.
I was like, I'll catch those Beats by Dre and run off.
I know. If anyone out there has some Beats by Dre, please send them to the morning score. We're
Please do.
Sunset and Gower in Los Angeles, California.
R.E. Trevor Anthony.
Attention, Erica. NFL's highs and lows. Okay.
Well,
The most interesting go ahead.
highs,
Cardinals. Okay.
I mean,
Lows.
that was lows. The Miami Dolphins, absolutely terrible. The refs.
Oh.
I mean, some of these play calls were just stupid. All the injuries. I mean, real quick. Okay, as a fantasy football nerd, I'm in playoff fantasy football.
Yep.
And I'm looking at these lineups, and the running backs going into Wild Card Weekend are absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know if D'Angelo Williams is going to start. And he's already the backup, but he's been really good.
Yeah.
Marshawn
He
Lynch
has been really
should
good,
start.
actually.
Yeah, he's actually been really
Yeah.
good. Marshawn Lynch may or may not start.
But even if he does start, I mean, how healthy is he? How much will his injury affect his production on the field?
Yes. I mean, the only big name running backs that potentially could start in Wild Card Weekend are Eddie Lacy, who's been pedestrian.
Yeah.
I'm liking that word today, by the way.
Pedestrian.
and Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston's running backs are like Grimes and Polk and Alfred Blue, and Kansas City's are Spencer Ware and Sharkandrick West. It's like, who the hell are these people? And if you're a fantasy person, you know who they are.
You know who they are,
But if you're
exactly.
not a fantasy person, you're like, what?
You're like, who?
Even quarterbacks. I mean,
yeah.
Brian Hoyer,
yeah.
A.J. McCarron.
A.J. McCarron.
I mean, what the hell is
Yeah, so the injuries have definitely been a low. And another recent low has been the Johnny Manziel.
Oh, my God.
So Johnny Manziel allegedly sneaked to Vegas, and he was wearing a disguise to a party the night before Sunday's game. But he was not going to be active for Sunday's game because I think he had failed concussion protocol. Yeah. But still, I mean, as one of the quarterbacks for your team, you don't skip town and then go to Vegas the night before a game, whether or not you're playing. Now, let's just go ahead and make this clear. These are rumors, so these are allegations. It has not been confirmed, but as rumors have it, oftentimes there is some truth rooted in these rumors. And apparently he was in Vegas, got carded, had to show his ID, had to close out his tab on his Johnny Manziel credit card, and he was wearing a wig and was telling everyone his name was Billy. Why does Johnny Manziel still have a job? Why do the Browns keep giving him chances? And does he even deserve to have another opportunity in the NFL to play as a quarterback?
I mean, the NFL is the NFL. I mean, people are alleged murderers, alleged rapists, alleged, this guy is a dumbass. But so he's, for what he does off the field, I think he still should have a job. I don't think he's a total a-hole. And why you're not there for your team. Yes, your team is terrible. Yes, your team has nothing to play for, but it's still your freaking team. Like, you're a teammate. You're supposed to be the future of said team. Yeah. If you want to be the damn franchise starting quarterback, the leader of this team, you show up. You are there.
You're there.
Like, and I know I'm a homer, but one thing about the Cardinals that's been so great is all you hear about with Carson Palmer is last year when he got hurt, he was at every team meeting, every practice, every game, and look at how much it paid off.
Oh, God, yes.
That's a leader. That's your team seeing this guy does not need to be here, but he is here learning, teaching. Getting involved. Johnny Manziel, I mean, this guy, it's just going to all come crashing down for this guy.
So, but you think that he deserves another chance to play?
Well, I think as far as like his personal stuff, like I don't think he's really like if he was an amazing quarterback, yeah, he's an asshole, but he deserves to play.
See, here's my thing. I am down for second chances. I believe that Ray Rice deserved a second chance. I believe that Michael Vick deserved a second chance. I believe that Adrian Peterson deserved a second chance. All those people, except for Ray Rice at this point. Even Riley Cooper, who got into that whole little thing where he was, slurring the N-word all over the concert. People deserve a chance to be rehabbed. They deserve a chance to show themselves improved, to show that they've improved. Johnny Manziel has gotten like 1 million chances. This is like his 10th chance. He got caught with his girlfriend fighting, and he allegedly hit her. I mean, he went to rehab, or was it over the summer? Like literally third or fourth or fifth chance. How many more times are we going to keep giving Johnny Manziel the affluenza excuse?
Well, I don't think teams are. I don't think he's a good enough player. Somebody like Dallas, they might, in my mind, from just a business standpoint, because if you grab a Johnny Manziel, you're going to sell some jerseys. Okay. And I think Jerry Jones is like, well, this kid will probably never play, but I see millions of dollars in jersey sales. I don't think he's going to last very long in the NFL because he is such an a-hole, and players, his teammates are going to give up on him. But I think the worst thing that happened for us as fans is that the Browns are just cleaning house. Yeah. So the new coach that comes in, every coach says, "Oh, I can coach this person."
He's not.
So they may or may not, but who wants this guy? Like, I wouldn't want him.
No.
He's just an a-hole, and he doesn't give a shit. Oh, here's one thing that I heard on the radio that was the best thing I've heard about Johnny Manziel, and I can't remember his name, and I feel bad, and I want to give him a shout out, but is it some ex-NFL player?
Jason Whitlock, who said that he was the one who said he was like Jamarcus Russell.
No, but that was a great one. I like that you found that.
Okay.
No, this was on Mad Dog Radio. He said, all Manziel wants to be is famous. He just wants blow, hose, and clothes. And I was like, boom, nailed it, make it rain. And I wish I could remember this guy's name because I almost got in a car accident. I was laughing so hard when I heard that.
Blow, hose, and clothes.
That's all. He just wants to be famous.
Hashtag goals. Hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals.
Okay.
Hashtag New Year's resolution.
I know. Well, you know what? We are going to keep right on moving because we talk all the time so much. We're going to just move on. Can we move on to best and worst? Or you want to talk about the
Sure.
relocation, or I don't know. Let me know.
Okay, the relocation thing. Yeah, let's just hit since we're in LA.
Since we're in LA, so the Chargers, the Raiders, and the St. Louis Rams have all officially filed to be relocated to Los Angeles. Personally, as an Angelino now, I do not want to see the Raiders come here. I know that their reputation precedes them, and maybe the stereotypes of Raiders and Raiders fans being less than stellar citizens. Maybe that is just a stereotype. But I don't want the Raiders in that culture here.
I don't either.
Honestly,
Yeah,
don't.
I don't either because I want to go to a game and enjoy it. I don't want to worry about getting in a fight or having somebody throw a beer at me or just start talking. It's like, I mean, yes, that could happen at any stadium, but yes, their reputation precedes themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a huge one. So
It's really bad.
Yeah, you could sit in section 435 and it's all families, but then every other section could be these a-hole Raiders fans. And I don't even want to worry about that when I go to a game.
Oh, you know something else I don't want to worry about either? Los Angeles tends to be just a city of facades and, brown nosing and rubbing elbows and looking important and trying to be on the scene. I don't want NFL and LA to become one of those events where it's just who's who. Let me go sit with my agent. Let me, go to this game because I need to go sit by, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio. I love football so much, and I would hate to see such a gridiron game be diluted by becoming a who's who of LA scene. That would really suck.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't know if it will, just because I think the difference because obviously you go to a Lakers game, that's what happens. It's all, but Staples Center's so small and compact, and they've got that little inner bowl that can kind of be. Football stadiums are so damn big.
True.
And you're so far away from everything. I think the big wigs like that are probably going to be on the sidelines anyway.
And in their suites.
Yeah, in their suites.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be. My biggest thing with LA getting a team is like, we just need one team.
Yeah.
Why do we have to have two teams?
We
Like,
don't.
you couldn't handle two teams before. I don't see any reason why you could handle two teams now. Just get one team and let LA become a fan base. Obviously, we're not going to be fans because, we already have our allegiance. But down the road, if they actually stick around for 10, 20, 30 years,
Exactly.
the younger generation will, my kids, your kids
Yeah.
will grow up liking the LA Rams or Chargers.
I hope it's the Rams.
I hope it's the Rams too, just so I can watch the Cardinals once a year.
And I hope it's the Rams because right now we have Todd Gurley, and I like Todd Gurley, and hopefully he stays there for at least the next 4 to 5 years.
There you go.
And he'll be here.
They could actually be good. The Rams could be good.
Yeah.
They got to get rid of Jeff Fisher. But
yeah, they do.
The guy who never wins, never gets his team to the playoffs, but he beats the Seahawks twice a year. It's like college football where your coach is terrible. You're 1-10, but you are a Michigan team that beat Ohio State, or you're Auburn and you beat Bama, and because of that, your whole season, you just won your whole season.
Hashtag TMS Talk. You heard the man. Come here, St. Louis Rams. Best and worst of. Okay, so this is an interesting story. The Charlotte Observer in North Carolina published a story about Cam Newton that a writer wrote into the editor. Now, mind you, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, an outraged Tennessee Titans fan who's a mom took her daughter to the game and wrote another story about Cam Newton, saying that she was very offended by his dabbing, his pelvic thrust. Fast forward to yesterday or 2 days ago, Charlotte Observer publishes another letter. The woman who wrote the letter's name is Patricia Broderick. I think we have a picture. She's an older lady. Cam Newton had a baby. He and his longtime girlfriend, Kia Proctor. They named the baby Chosen.
See, that should be the story.
Name the baby Chosen. The woman writes, so the man whom we celebrate and with good reason has produced a son. Congratulations would be in order if that man had been a man enough to marry the mother of his child and make a home. This happy occasion is blighted when Cam, whose own parents are married, skips the very basis of being a good parent. I am just very sorry and very disappointed. So Patricia is like, dude, so what that you had a baby, you're not married, you're going to hell. Trevor, thoughts?
I'm so tired of people giving Cam Newton a hard time. This is like one of the nicest guys in professional sports.
Yeah.
I mean, all he does is give his
win,
footballs
win,
to
win.
kids.
Yeah.
All he does is help out his community. I mean, so what? He celebrates every once in a while. Is it excessive sometimes? Maybe.
Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever. Get over it, people. It's entertainment. NFL is a sport, yes, but it's entertainment. That's the whole purpose for it. And these little dances are kind of funny.
They are, but see, and okay, so the dab, yeah, whatever. We talked about that, but how do you what is Patricia's issue? Do you think that you need to be married to be a good father figure?
Absolutely not. And I know a lot of people are very religious, and that's something that's against their religion. And hey, I respect your religion.
Yeah.
And hey, I respect Patricia's thoughts, but keep them to yourself.
Okay.
I mean, that's my biggest thing with religion. It's like I am open for anybody being a part of whatever religion they want to be. That's their decision. I'm not. I'm a Catholic by name.
Yeah.
But
he's really a sinner.
Oh, hell yeah. #sinner. But it's like, how many people on this planet have kids that aren't married? I mean, for the love of God.
I mean, yes, God. Since we're talking about you, God.
I mean,
my thing is this: there are a lot of people who have babies out of wedlock, not just professional athletes, celebrities. I think Angelina and Brad Pitt, they had most of their babies, their adopted and their biological kids, before they were married. And I'm not. Listen, again, like you, I respect people's religious beliefs, but I think sometimes marriage in general has become an antiquated tradition of sorts. And not that it shouldn't be respected, but people who are successful and smart and are intelligent can figure out ways to raise their families and not be married.
yes.
And Cam Newton made $144 million. I'm pretty sure he can figure out how to take care of his son, even if he's not married to Kia Proctor.
I was going to say, if anybody's going to have kids out of wedlock, it should be celebrities because at least they have money to take care of the kid.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, how many people on this planet have no money and are having kids out of wedlock? It's like those are the ones we need to worry about.
That's what I'm saying.
Not celebrities' kids who will have a huge inheritance and probably some bond worth $30 million. So when I don't know if Chosen is a hero. It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Chosen, when he's 18, will have $50 million in the bank.
When he's 18, he's gonna own the housing development that Patricia lives in. #TMS Talk. One more thing before we go. Ron Clark Academy video. Jarvis, can you play this video? It's gone viral. The kids at the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, Georgia, participated in the Do It Like Me challenge. Ron Clark uses alternative methods to teach their children. It's really cute, and they keep their students engaged through music and through dance. Is it playing? So cute. This is their teacher. Ron Clark is their teacher.
I freaking love this. I mean, more schools need to be like this.
I agree.
Because how into it are these students?
Yeah, I think it's so cute. And like you said, more teachers need to find creative ways to keep their students engaged. This is their teacher and the founder of this academy. Kids have high test scores, stay out of trouble, a high matriculation rate when it comes to graduation and getting into colleges. So they're doing something right at Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, have fun, have some incentives. I was a teacher in college for one semester, and I basically told all my students who were all over 21, I was like, if you guys all get A's, if everybody gets an A, I will throw a party at my house for you. And it was just that little incentive. And then they started ganging up on each other. Like, did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? They had a goal to reach, and then they did it. And we partied. And they were all athletes.
Oh, see, there you go.
I'm just saying, incentivize these kids. Have some fun. I love it.
Out of time. Thank you for watching The Morning Score with Erica and Trevor. I'm Erica Renee Davis. You can find me on Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat, and Instagram at Erica Renee D.
And I'm Trevor Anthony. You can find me on Twitter at Trevor Anthony. Next time we're here, Cardinals will be heading to the NFC Championship
Let's
game.
go Panthers. Dab on them. Cam, find The Morning Score on Twitter at The Morning Score and on Instagram at The Morning Score Show. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and tune in. Download the podcast. Watch us on YouTube. Share it with your friends because, we're so awesome. Until next time, See ya.
Hebrew hammer time.
Bet you can't do it like me. Thank you, Mark, for calling in. Double H.
Double H.
Yeah. There it is. That's I was like,
showing
are we
you.
gonna do Bet You Can't Do It
Bob
Like
King.
Me? Like Ron
And I'm
Clark
about to
Academy
here with
of
something new
Kids?
for y'all.
Trevor,
So
we should
everybody
learn
dance,
that
they do their
routine.
thing, but
What's that?
We should
just
learn
that bet you
routine.
can't do it
I'll
like
do
me
it.
challenge. Let's go like ooh,
That's the dance.
hey,
I know.
hey,
I know.
turn up, ooh, hey, turn up, ooh, hey,
I don't even
turn
know
up,
it.
Nothing makes you got another hit.
Bet you can't whip like me, can't Millie rock like me, can't sexy walk like me, can't hit the corn like me. Hey, bet you can't drop like me, can't hit the folks like me, can't nay like me, can't Dito
love the
shuffle like me.
nay-nay.
Like, no, bitch can't do it like me.